Hi everybody, this is Dave Neufeld for the Best Buy Canada blog, and today I'm going to be taking a look at the Roland CUBE 10GX guitar amplifier. Now this is a very compact amplifier. You might even call it a practice amp. It's designed to be small and portable, and it's the kind of amp that you'd probably use for especially for maybe new guitarists or learners, or anyone who really just needs a really portable, easy to transport solution. When I first received this amplifier for review, I honestly kind of thought that it was the sort of amp that I would really only recommend in that kind of scenario, like, oh yeah, it's just a little practice amp. It's probably something that I might say, oh, you know, it's fine for beginners, or if you're just figuring out if you even want to learn how to play guitar, you know, this is a nice, cheap, easy amplifier to use before you move on to, you know, something more expensive or more robust. But actually, when I started using it, I found that I was far more impressed with this amplifier than I initially thought I would be. For a number of reasons. And I mean, first of all, I'll talk about the sound a little bit later, but first off, I'll just say that it is definitely, as advertised, very compact, very easy to set up, to use, to move around, to travel with. It's, as you can see, quite small and quite lightweight. It's less than 10 pounds, so it's easy to carry around and easy to fit in, you know, it fit in small places when you're trying to find space to pack and that sort of thing. I honestly really wish something like this had been around when I was first learning to play guitar, because my first practice amp was, of course, in the early 90s. It was much bigger and bulkier, and it was hard, but I wanted to have it, so I'd lug it around to school and to friends' houses and all these other places, and by the end of the day I was really sick of hauling that amplifier around. But this one is much more easy to carry around. It's very light and very small. My only beef with it that I've noticed is I'm actually a little unimpressed with the handle itself. So you can see here the handle on top, it's really tight, and for myself I really kind of have to dig my fingers under it to get under it, and even when I do, that's not comfortable. Like, it's almost crushing my fingers in between the handle and the amplifier. So for a portable amp, I would think that maybe they would have developed the carrying strap here to have a little more slack. I don't know, maybe it's a brand new amp. Maybe over time, when you get a bit of use on it, the strap, maybe it loosens up a bit and becomes more easy. But I found that a little bit odd. But other than that, I mean, it's very, very lightweight, very easy to carry. But of course, none of that really matters unless it sounds good, and that's where I was really impressed with this amplifier. It's a 10-watt amplifier. It's the smallest in the Cube family, of course, and it has a single 8-inch speaker built into the cabinet. But for what it is, it actually has fairly impressive sound, and it has quite a few tones and presets as well. You can see the control panel along the top here. So you've got your traditional equalizer, your bass and mid and treble settings, so those are all there, and that's great. And then of course you've got a volume knob and a gain knob as well. But the amp actually has another switch over here. It's just a little button on top that lets you choose between 3 different preset amplifier types, which is nice. So you've got, of course, your normal. When I turn it on, a little light goes on, and that's how I know which preset I'm set on. So right now the light is green, so I'm set to the clean preset. Nice clean sound there. And then the next preset, I click the button, the light turns orange, and now I'm set to the crunch set. So you can see there we've got quite a bit more crunchy tone, a bit of overdrive, a bit of gain, maybe for something a bit more music. adjust the gain to get even more or less overdrive on that tone. And finally, we've got one more click to turn the light red, and now we've got a lead guitar tone. So a lot of overdrive there, a bit of distortion for the lead guitar tone. So 3 distinct presets there, which are really nice, and I'm not sure how well the sound carries through the video, but for this size of amp, I'm actually really impressed. It's a nice sound. It fills the room here, so I'd definitely say it fills you know, a small bedroom or a practice room or places like that really well for this type of amp. So that's really good. Another neat feature is that this last dial that I hadn't talked about yet, it has a number of built-in effects, and that's really cool too. It's got a delay effect, a reverb effect, and a chorus effect. Delay and chorus especially, you know, normally guitarists, normally we'd use external pedals, you know, adapters and things to get those effects. So the fact that they're kind of built in here is really neat, especially for maybe newer guitarists who haven't had the chance to play around with those types of effects before, can get a little taste of them with this amplifier and then see which ones they like to maybe complement their sound with. So in order to use those, you just kind of tweak this dial a little bit. So right now when it's set all the way to the left, it's off, but as soon as I turn it a little bit, I should now be in the chorus range. So that's off. So I've got some chorus effect there. Or I can turn a little further, and now I should have some delay. Oh, not quite. There we go. So you can hear some delay effect going on, and finally a little further, and I should have some nice reverb. So anyway, I mean, obviously it's a very basic example of the effect. It's nothing quite as robust as you would get from a dedicated effect pedal or other sorts of accessories and tools. But again, just for this little kind of entry-level practice amp, it's kind of neat that it has those effects built in to kind of experiment and play around with. Now finally, I'll just touch on the fact that there is actually also a companion app that goes along with this Roland amp, and it's really cool because I mentioned before that there are 3 preset amplifier types that you can choose between. But if you download the app, and it's available on iOS or Android, you can actually access a number of different presets and program them to this amplifier. So among the 3 slots that are set to clean, crunch, and lead right now, you can actually overwrite those temporarily using the amp and access another wide variety of presets. So all you would do is download the app to your phone or your device, and then you would use the app to flip through, and you'll see a number of different kind of presets. There's ones meant to mimic like a big metal stack of amplifiers, or you know, a lot of vintage and classic amplifier type sounds, or even ones that will make it sound like an acoustic guitar or a bass guitar. And once you've chosen one, you would just take the cord and unplug it from your guitar, and it comes with this adapter as well that goes to a 3.5mm headset jack, so you can go from the guitar cable to a 3.5mm headset jack and plug that into your phone, and then it's just a matter of synchronizing those different presets to to the spaces allotted in the amplifier, and that's opens up to a whole new variety of tones and kind of sounds that you can get out of this amp. So that's kind of neat as well. Again, it's really handy, especially again for those who are just kind of starting out, maybe to get a kind of a taste of a lot of different styles and sounds and tones, and open up the world of all these kind of different amplifiers that hopefully they're going to be very interested in the future. But of course, again, I'll say that it's great for anyone as well. I mean, just for the price and the portability and all the different functionality, it's really a neat little amplifier. So the last things I'll just quickly touch on are there are a few more features of the amp in the back here. If I can kind of turn it around. You may not be able to see particularly well, but here we've got our power cable. It just plugs in with a standard, not a standard, but an AC adapter. So it's got a nice little power supply there. And then there are two more jacks on the back. The first one is a record out or microphone jack. So of course, if you're practicing late at night or that sort of thing, you can plug your headphones in and practice that way, so that you don't disturb the people around you. And then there's actually an auxiliary input as well, which is really cool because that means you can plug in your own music and play along. So if you have, say, you know, a music streaming service, for example, on your phone, or any music saved on your phone or other device, you can plug it in and you can play it through the amps, so you can play along with your favorite tunes and learn how to play them, or even load up some scratch tracks or different type of tracks that you can play along with. So again, a really handy auxiliary in port for the learning features. Using the amplifier to help yourself learn or practice, or just overall write new music. So very cool. And again, it's just very solid, very durable, which is handy because this is the kind of amplifier, like I said, that you're probably going to be moving around. You know, maybe young kids can be taking it to practice and school and all these places, and it's going to get bumped and kicked and dropped and all those sorts of things. But it's a very solid design, something that I would definitely recommend in that regard. So really, overall, the Roland CUBE 10GX, I would call it a practice amp, and it is that, and really a little bit more even. I'm super impressed. Like I said originally, I thought that it was something that I would really only be recommending to very new guitarists and someone who just really wanted a temporary or quick and cheap solution to start learning to play, or until they could save up for something more robust. But for what it is, this amplifier, I find it really impressive. I think it has a really good sound, has a lot of presets, a lot of different tones and flexibility, and overall I think that just about anyone could find it a handy tool for their collection. So that's all I have for you today, but stay tuned to the Best Buy blog for all the latest in music and technology, and I'll see you next time.